Hi, I'm Raymond Henderson, Head of Forestry at Bidwells. We're in a small wood in Perthshire today. This is a little microcosm of Scottish forestry. We've been really active in this woodland. We've carried out some clear felling, small scale clear felling. We've got piles of brash here just waiting to be gathered up to go off to fuel wood markets. Some piles of logs still lying at roadside waiting to be picked up to go to the sawmills. We've thinned the young Sitka spruce crop in the background with a view to producing really good quality timber in the future, and there's been a bit of management, high pruning and things going on in the broadleaved woodland round about here. We've also carried out a bit of new woodland planting in this area, adding to the native character of the area. Being rurally based, producing much needed goods for paper, packaging, fuel wood, construction grade timber. These businesses have not been unaffected by the COVID crisis, but we have done our best to keep things moving. There's very few jobs where it is easier to perhaps socially distance than out in the woods. And we hope that with this short film we'll be able to show you a bit of the action that has been taking place in the Scottish forest industry over the last few months. In spite of COVID, of course, the trees have continued to grow, and we at Bidwells are really committed to being part of the green-led recovery throughout the UK, and forestry is going to form a big part of that. The Scottish Government has targets for new planting, which will be increasing up to 15,000 hectares per year. The UK has a target of 30,000 hectares per annum of new woodland creation. We're a long way in the UK from having that target achieved, although in Scotland we have been, in the last couple of years, planting in excess of 10,000 hectares. It's really important to keep the productive side of forestry going. It's an industry which employs tens of thousands of people throughout the UK. It's disproportionately important north of the border here, where the majority of the nation's coniferous productive woodland is located. As part of this green-led recovery, we are of course looking to expand forest cover, and it's a fantastic opportunity for farmers, landowners and potential forestry investors to get involved in what is a truly green industry. We've said for years and years that forestry is a sustainable industry which has really good social governance credentials behind it. We operate to really quite strict guidelines and a thing called the UK Forestry Standard, which means that the days of monocultural blocks of woodland being created on open hillsides are long gone. In this particular area, this is part of this small woodland in Perthshire. We took a bit of bare land of just over an acre and we've planted 1,000 native broadleaves on it. This was part of a Bidwells initiative conceived and carried out pre-lockdown, where we planted oak, birch, some rowan, some alder and some hawthorn. As you can see, after less than a growing season, this particular oak is doing really well. I am fully expecting that by the end of September we'll have a tree of about this height. And this is all part of showing Bidwell's own commitment to supporting and driving forward the forestry targets that have been set by government. Here we are in part of the woodland which has just been thinned, first thinned Sitka spruce, roughly 20 years old, and which in another 20 years time will be a source of prime quality saw logs for the building industry and for all other wood using industries in the country. This is a demonstration of the type of commercial woodland that is in great demand at the moment. We've seen a number of properties coming to the market during the COVID crisis, going to a closing date and being sold very successfully, all during the lockdown period. It's indicative of the fact that there are a large number of people and organisations out there who are convinced about the long-term financial sense of forestry. Finances are part of it, a big part of it, but there are also all the added benefits of locking up carbon, corporate and social responsibility, showing that you are in fact investing in a really green and sustainable product, all of which are helping drive investment decisions. So there's a very healthy demand, not only for existing forestry properties, but also bare land which is suitable for planting and for the creation of new forest. And as we try to get to our net carbon zero targets, which in Scotland is to be by 2045, new woodland creation is going to form an essential part of delivering those targets. Not only native woodland, which will lock up carbon, the process of photosynthesis simply means that the faster growing trees are, the more carbon dioxide they will absorb from the atmosphere. So high yielding conifer plantations such as this are locking up a great deal more carbon dioxide than young native woodlands. And yes, of course, these trees will eventually be felled, but if they are going into long life products such as construction grade timber, then the carbon balance of these woodlands is tremendous. All the other benefits of forestry, employment, diversification of rural businesses such as farming, the carbon locking up question, flood prevention, nature conservation, forestry ticks a lot of those boxes. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about the non-financial valuation side of forestry and how things are moving with the valuation of carbon and natural capital, you might care to listen to a podcast that was prepared by my colleague Andy Turnbull.